As an autistic person, I like sharing random events in my life because I feel like the more autistic people share about pretty much anything, even little things, I feel like the more it brings awareness to the world. And in some way or some form, it can help other people. Last night, I attended a Christmas party at my work, and I want to talk about my overall experience. Right off the bat, I want to say that there's a common misconception about autistic people, and that most of them are introverts, and I don't think that's true. I think there's just as many extroverted autistic people as there's introverted ones. And for me personally, I love going to parties. Whenever we have an event like that, I get excited about it for weeks. I love social gatherings, I love parties, I love going to clubs, things like that. Although I don't really go to clubs as much now, but if I did, I would still really enjoy it. In spite of the fact that I do get sensitive to noise, sounds, and have sensory processing struggles, it's still enjoyable to me. However, when I do these sort of things, I still do need to decompress and unwind. Yesterday, I was subjected to loud music, danced, and I interacted with a bunch of people. It was really highly stimulating. And overall, I had a blast. But when I encounter these kind of situations, my mind really needs to process it afterwards. Sometimes my mind will process these situations for several days afterwards, and I find afterwards I have to kind of rest. Last night, my mind was processing the situation so hard I actually ended up not falling asleep until 6 this morning. I kept thinking about all the different situations, the different interactions, all the people that I saw. And none of this wasn't anything to do with stress. I didn't have a bad time, I had an awesome time. But I process these things really hard. Like, I think about all the different interactions that I have. I thought about all the different people that I witnessed and saw. It's like watching a really intense movie and you process it afterwards. And so not only the situation can make you feel exhausted with processing the loud noises and stimulus, but processing like what's going on afterwards can also take energy too. So it's the next morning right now, and I feel okay, but I do feel a little bit more of a energy dip due to the fact that I'm processing that event. It's like an energy hangover. I wouldn't have traded this situation for anything though. And also, I feel like when I attend these kind of events, I learn so much. As an autistic person, I just realized something. I find small talk more exhausting than deeper kind of talk when I'm socializing. I feel like with neurotypicals, that's the opposite. A lot of times when neurotypicals talk about really deep things, they feel like they gotta mental process it and rest afterwards. However, with me, I find small talk really mentally taxing because you gotta pay attention to more of the social rules, and that can take a lot of energy. I feel like small talk is more mentally taxing for me because you have to say more of the right thing, or else it might be considered weird or rude. I feel like when people small talk, they're actually not really being themselves, but actually interacting in a sort of scripted way. And when it comes to small talking, there's never a one-size-fits-all solution. You always have to do it differently in different situations and different people. On top of that, it's boring. So all in all, it's mentally exhausting, and it's just straight up boring. I went to a Christmas party last night, and I did pretty well socializing with different people. I interacted more than I usually did, and I'm really happy about myself for doing that. However, I still didn't intermingle as much as the other people did. And it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to interact with people. I could if I really wanted to. However, it wouldn't have been as fun as just simply hanging around at the party and just listening and enjoying the music, eating the food, and just even just appreciating just watching everyone. I felt like if I would have interacted with more people, I actually wouldn't have had as much fun. And I was excited about this Christmas party. And the reason is because small talk is not only mentally exhausting, but it's just really boring. And I just wouldn't have enjoyed the party as much. I wouldn't have had time to dance, enjoy the food, appreciate the music, and just appreciate just watching everybody at the party. Now, if I could talk to people and talk about really deep things, get really deep into my special interests, or just get deep about anything that I could talk about or could understand, then I would have a blast. I would probably talk to everyone. I would try to talk to as many people as I could. But when it comes to large social gatherings, typically it's all about small talk because you really can't talk about anything deep because you're always intermingling with a bunch of different people. So you don't really have time to talk about anything deep. So by very design, social gatherings are more about small talk. So I generally find myself not socializing as much as other people because I don't like socializing, but I just don't like small talk. When I was younger, after large social settings such as parties, I used to feel really upset and depressed and feel really down because I would never feel connected. And I always loved the feeling of being connected. And I used to beat myself up thinking it was because of my social skills. But now I came to a sort of revelation. I realize it's not so much of my social struggles, it's just I find small talk boring. If you found this video interesting, you might also enjoy the video How to Deal with Sensory Overload in the link below.